This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and welcome to another episode of Tales from the Dorkside. And on this episode, it's going to be very cool because we are going to be discussing the very first episode of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite on TNT. Now, this is very exciting because this is very world-changing for fans of pro wrestling. So to kick things off, I'm going to introduce my co-hosts here. We have Will the Thrill. Say what's up, Will.
Be Elite. Be Elite. What's up, everyone? I'm really pumped up for this one. I really enjoyed it.
You're such a mark. Oh my god.
Whatever. I don't care they even called me Will the Thrill. I'm not even fighting
yeah,
anymore.
I accept it at this point.
I accept it because I just pumped for this
Exactly.
one.
There we go. And we have Adrian 3000. Say what's up, Adrian.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well.
All right, guys. So we're going to start things off with, again, this is AEW. This is kind of a review of their whole first show. And we're going to kind of just run down the whole thing. Just run it down from the very beginning to the very end. And at the very end of this, we're going to give a quick review of this week's NXT. We'll get into that. So, again, this is all spoilers. If you guys haven't seen those shows, go watch those shows first and then come back and listen to this podcast.
What are you doing at this point?
I know, what is wrong with you?
Come on.
So, okay, we're going to start off with the show AEW first, which is AEW Dynamite. Now, there was some controversy to the name Dynamite, which in my opinion I thought was perfect, because their name is Dynamite on TNT. That's genius in my opinion.
It writes itself.
It does.
I am such a dolt. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
until you just told me right
when I
now.
first saw it, I was like, Dynamite on TNT. That's genius.
Because what else are you going to do at that point?
Right.
All the other good names are taken.
Right, so they're obviously trying to make an explosion in the wrestling business, and some people didn't like it, and I think no matter what they named it, people were gonna bitch and complain about it. I thought it was perfect. It's a bit on the nose. I can see that, but I really loved it. What about you guys?
I liked it. Like I said earlier, it works perfectly for what it is, and it's like I said, all the other good names are taken. What else is there? I like the Dynamite. I like the business of it.
I like it. It feels kind of retro.
Yeah, very.
It definitely does harken back to the Monday Night Wars. I'm not going to put it on that level yet.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, the whole Nitro thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, just think of that whole thing, just Wednesday night Dynamite on TNT. That flows and rolls off the tongue perfectly.
It really does.
Yeah, I loved it. I totally dig it. So, all right, we got the entrance. They're pretty much the show. The intro is basically just highlights from the past, like pay-per-views that they've had before, since they haven't really had any, TV shows. So that's all that footage is going to build up over time.
Pretty good song. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Good intro song, catchy. I like the color scheme of the intro where they had the explosions of color.
Yeah.
the
It's very
ribbons.
bright. Yeah, I liked it. So then we get introduced to it's going to be our commentary team, which is Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Excalibur. I personally love all these guys, and then because Jim Ross is one of the best, I love Excalibur because the dude's weird, and then Tony Schiavone is a legend, and you can really tell all the wrestlers respect him, just from being in the business so long, working with WCW. What do you guys think of the announce team?
Jim Ross, classic. You can't get any better than him at this point. Kind of wish he had stuck with WWE all these years, but good for us. He's with AEW now. Excalibur is my first time listening to him. I enjoyed what I listened to him, but I gotta, before I could get an opinion on him, I want to listen to him some more. Tony Schiavone, I enjoyed. Great. It reminded me of the wars, of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
But my only problem with him was he needs to let go of WCW. This is AEW. And he kept on like...
And that isn't a recurring theme throughout the entire show, how he was harkening back to those days. And I get that.
I'm hoping that was a mental slip.
Well, I think it's just to hype things up for what's going on right now. I don't think he's gonna do that all the time.
Just playing up the history.
Yeah, he's playing up the history because this is a whole brand new business and a brand new company. Excuse me.
That's why I have a problem with him tying it to WCW. Like that was 20 years ago, granted, but this isn't WCW.
Yeah.
This is AEW. This is something new.
And let's see how it goes on further. So, what did you think about the commentary?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're not going to go wrong with... actually, let me scratch that. I've actually been thinking that JR should have retired a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
Because I wasn't really...
That's a hot take.
I wasn't really a fan of his New Japan work.
Not really. A lot of people think that.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, that could just because of the whole cultural thing. You know, he probably has no idea who any of the Japanese wrestlers are. But, I mean, I thought for this episode, he worked very well. So did Tony.
Yeah.
And honestly, yeah, I'm kind of a big fan of Excalibur now.
Excalibur's money, dude. I know some people don't like him. I think he's fantastic.
Now, is Excalibur permanent, or are they going to have a...
No, he's permanent, yeah. Okay. Because they had another dude, I forgot who it was, they took him out and they decided this 3 is going to be the main 3.
Well, this was my first time listening to him, so I can't really have a true opinion of him just yet.
Yeah.
Ask me again in about 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And they're going to be working on their chemistry.
Oh,
you know, they got to work together more.
This was day 1.
This was technically their first show, all 3 of them together.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone's brand new to the team. So it's going to take some time to get used to.
They work together so well, like they never left each other's side.
Yeah, oh yeah. What did you guys think of the production of like things like the stage? We actually have pyro, the lighting of the arena. What'd you think about that?
Definitely want to touch up on more on this when we get to the NXT side of things too.
Okay.
But I love the presentation. It was excellent. They are definitely shooting for the big time here. They are definitely aiming for Raw status.
Yeah.
I actually felt, while the set was okay, I thought it was a little small. Actually,
Right.
Considering they're supposed to be backed by this big billionaire, Tony Khan, and it kind of looks like on par with NXT. I thought they were going to go for more of a SmackDown or Raw type of bigger stage.
I thought different. I thought a little different on that one.
Well, I think especially with the new Raw stage, I think the new Raw stage feels smaller too now. With that skateboard half pipe that got going on.
It looks weird up close, but I really do like it far away from those.
I like it too.
This is their first set. Like first sets are always a little smaller than how everything else starts off. The more money they make, the more seasons go on. The sets will change. This will get bigger.
I also don't think they're going to be the ones that are going to emphasize the intros so much. You know, that's because it also shows when you listen to the intro music. It's not as loud as pulsating as like WWE and stuff like that.
And it's super quick.
Yeah, they get the WWE is more about the pomp and circumstance of all the intros and it being more extravagant. I don't think AEW is going to be doing that. They might be a little bit here and there, depending on the superstar. But not everyone's going to have a big entrance. Not everyone's going to be getting pyro. You know what I mean? I just think that they're going to go a different route when it comes to that.
No, I guess that's true. It fits into their whole thing where they want to be a little bit more realistic, more of a sports atmosphere.
Like I guess presentation.
Also a little disappointed that there was a big lack of pyro.
Right. I think the only one that got pyro was like Cody.
I don't think Cody got pyro. It was just that thing, the centerpiece lifted up, raised above him, and then him and Randy came out.
Once
I don't remember.
He hit the stage or the ramp, pyro came up behind him. That's the
pyro,
only thing I remember because I rewatched it again. I was like, "Was there any pyro?" I know I saw pyro somewhere, and it was from Cody. It was the only one, but
it makes sense. They're trying to be a little bit more grounded.
Right.
I'll give them a pass.
A little off topic, but kind of not considering what you're still talking about pyro. I want to say right now before SmackDown starts, best pyro of the week so far, The Miz.
Yes.
Best pyro of the week, The Miz. I love that presentation. That was great.
Definitely. All right, so with all that stuff out the way, one quick thing. Did you guys notice there's a lot of WCW security guards? Did anybody notice that?
You recognize these WCW?
The security guards, yeah. Because security guards are famous, dude, and it's the same guys that were in WCW.
I can't say I noticed.
I did, right? I was like, look at all those guys, old big dudes from WCW days.
I mean, when you're in a certain industry, I think you kind of all just...
Yeah, you all know each other, yeah.
That's obviously like him paying a favor to his dad's friends.
Yeah. Same thing with the referee, what's his name?
Earl Hebner.
I
was surprised to see him.
You know, they called Earl like, hey, bro, you an old timer, let's get you in this place.
You want to get paid?
Since you ain't working with Impact no more.
You want to get paid and break a hip at the same time?
Yeah, and he's so slow moving,
he
dude.
Is
oh,
slow.
my goodness. I think this is his final run. They're gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna give you a couple more years, bro, and then
at least stick around for the inaugural year of AEW.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's probably there to teach some of the younger referees.
Yeah, because I think they're trying to make that female ref the main ref.
Okay, speaking of
who's on point, by
yes, she is awesome.
When she came in and laid into that shoulder, breaking up that fight was like, oh, she's got it.
She's tough, dude. She's tough. I like her a lot, dude. I think she's gonna be their main ref. So, all right, so let's get.
I don't mind her.
Yeah, let's get that to the side now. Let's talk about the first match. So, Adrian, what do we got?
Very first match of AEW Dynamite was Cody versus Sammy Guevara.
Okay, now, Sammy Guevara is a very young dude. He's only like 22, I think. He looks like he's 16.
Oh.
He looks like a little teenager, dude.
That pisses me off.
And then he's a little furry. He comes out with the whole panda thing going on.
I wasn't sure if that's supposed to be a gimmick or just what he likes.
I think a little bit of both.
Now I know why you're a fan of his.
Exactly. But overall, this was a great match. I think you had to start off with Cody being the first one to come out, and how smoking hot was Brandy. I thought Brandy looked gorgeous coming out in that white dress. Oh my god, dude. I lost my mind, dude.
All that back she was showing off.
She had the back to show off, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, they started off with one of the founders. He's the first one to come out into the ring. And then Sammy Guevara. I think this was great of, like, starting off with a more experienced guy and bringing in a very brand new guy that's new to a lot of the more casual fan. You're not going to know Sammy Guevara unless you followed him in the indies and things like that.
And minus the near botches made him look really good.
Yeah. So I think it was an overall great match because it was a combination of eras that made, in my opinion, made both wrestlers look very good. So what do you guys think?
Well, minus the slow start, there, like I said, throughout the match, it felt like there was a few, for the first half of the match, there was a few spots where like there was some near catastrophic botches that they just got lucky and missed.
You can kind of tell they were kind of trying to get into the flow of things there. Yeah,
almost. You kind of want to say like ring rust almost.
Yeah. Maybe.
But they ended up pulling off. In the last half of the match, once they got warmed up, they took off, and so did the rest of the show.
Yeah, I don't know if it was ring rust, but it was probably more of like the hype of the first show, the pressure of being the first.
Lack of correct terms on that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think that's more what it is. It's they're getting a little antsy, but like, oh my god, we really gotta do this, man. We're the first ones.
Not that many people on the roster for AEW that are TV ready or TV experienced.
Absolutely. Because a lot of these are indie and they do dark matches.
You got John Moxley, which from here on out I will call Dean Moxley. I don't care who you are. You have Cody Rhodes. You have Dustin. You have his brother Dustin Rhodes. Yeah. Who else? Hangman Page. I want to say maybe.
Jericho, Daniels, Omega, the Young Bucks. But I know what you're saying. There's a lot of guys who are just not used to like the TV side, which is camera side, you know what I mean?
And we're gonna see a lot of them in the future episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully they're ready. Hopefully this kind of gives them an idea of what we want.
Right. So what do you think of the match overall?
Match overall, I thought it was probably the best match of the night. It was very solid.
Yes.
I don't remember seeing too many near botches.
There was some misses when it came to like some holds or like some like maybe some power bombs that they kind of slipped out of a little bit. Nothing crazy.
There were a couple like almost flips where like you could tell like they were a little slow to get to.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that definitely I freaked out about was when Cody did the suicide dive onto Brandy.
Oh my goodness, he got her hard.
Yeah. She knocked her head back on that guardrail. I was like, oh
she took it like a champ.
Oh yeah. Oh, especially to finish up the angle at the
end. Yeah.
Made Guevara a great heel.
Yeah.
Made him look like a great heel.
So basically, while the match came close because Brandy ended up hitting him over the head with her high heel shoe. And then that didn't quite take him down because he still kicked out at 2, but it ultimately finished with Cody getting the pin on this. And do you guys think that was the right move, having Cody win the very first match?
I think so. I think with the way they kind of been booking Omega and like kind of a slump.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have one of these guys be pretty legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with what happens at the end of the match. Sammy Guevara shaking Cody's hand, and then what happens in the main event after the whole thing
Well, let's talk about what happens next. So Sammy Guevara is going to go for Cody Rhodes' hands, and they do a quick handshake.
Shake hands.
But what happens right behind that? You start hearing the crowd, oh my God!
Yep,
Jericho runs in the ring, start beating the crap out of Cody Rhodes, because obviously that's the #1 contender now, and now he's got to go for that. So.
Yeah, a couple things on that. I would have actually liked to listen to the post-fight interview. I want to see how those are going to be handled.
Right.
A theme throughout the entire night, all these interviews were interrupted.
Right.
They want to put like a kind of a Bellator type of MMA type of presentation to it.
But then they never let it happen.
And they never let it happen. They let classic wrestling get involved.
Yeah.
Which, nothing wrong.
I did like that they're actually showing things during the commercial break. You know, it kind of keeps you invested in.
They have the picture-in-picture thing going on,
but instead of just a bunch of rest holds and a lot of nothing.
No, there was a couple times in like some of the other matches where I was like, oh man, what would happen if this match just ended during the commercial break?
It almost looked like it could.
I was like, oh, because they're really going still hard on during the commercials. Because usually when you watch WWE, they'll take a good 30-second rest in the corner, or they'll be both laid out on the floor a little bit, taking their time.
Or one guy's doing taunts to the fans.
They were going hard even during the commercials, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch through the commercials.
Yeah, they got you.
I have to.
That's kind of what WWE did back in the early 2000s in Attitude, right? I'm saying early 2000s at the very least.
I don't think they did the picture-in-picture thing.
They were trying to do that stupid
thing. They continued the action during commercial breaks.
Oh yeah. Then you get
that's what I meant.
Then you get like an instant replay when you come back from commercial.
I know WWE tried doing the whole like camera, the picture-in-picture with the commercials for a time. And they did that weird thing where they would reset the matches or find excuses to reset the matches.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
So all right, what match do we got next?
Up next, we had the very short match of Brandon Cutler versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Okay, hold on. Because that's my boy, dude.
Maxwell?
MJF is the man. In my opinion, he's going to be the, if not one of the top heels of this entire show and pro wrestling.
You're obviously talking about Maxwell, correct?
Yes.
MJF. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So right when he cut his song halfway through, told the guy, and he did his promo, establishing himself as the heel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was an instant fan.
Oh, he was working that heat as soon as he got out of to make his entrance. Yeah. He already had a microphone in his hand. He's talking smack, and
he did not care about his entrance.
I'm better than all of you.
He called us poor.
Check.
I love that dude.
I could tell right away he's gonna be one of my favorite.
Oh, he's fantastic, and he's a good wrestler. That's it. That's the best part.
Now, has he been on TV?
He's been on some of the pay-per-views and stuff. Yeah.
No, but has he been with any other promotion?
Oh no. Might have been on Ring of Honor. I don't remember.
So I'm saying, for a guy that probably has little to no screen time, like on actual TV.
Yeah.
He killed it.
He does. He has the look. He just has it. Yeah. You know, I really believe he has it.
You think Vince might have missed out on him?
I think Vince doesn't even know about him, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think AEW was just smart enough to snag him up before he even got to Vince, honestly. But I thought this match was decent. It was a very quick match. It was really just them make MJF look good. Cutler got the short end of the stick on that one. Honestly.
Well, I mean,
you don't think that was a real injury?
Huh?
You don't think that was a real injury?
No.
Yeah, the injuries will work, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Why not attack the knee then? If his knee was bothering him, why attack the elbow?
Well, because that's his signature.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It kind of got me too. I'm like, if it was a work, then he would have been working the knee, and the match probably would have gone longer.
If that's true,
well, even when he showed that injury, air quotes.
Yeah.
Like it looked bogus. I was like, what is he doing?
I've seen it
looked super bogus.
Destroy like a knee like that before.
Yeah. No, that's a total work. Yeah. So, anyways, not really a whole lot to talk about. Again, that was just more MJF playing the heat, working the heat of the crowd.
Such an awkward ending.
It was. But again, it that whole match was to instill the point. Like, look, MJF is a villain. He's just there to talk smack. And that's exactly what that match did.
I would say highlight of that match was Tony Schiavone calling MJF a prick.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So I think I even heard some asshole chants in there too, right?
A ton. Throughout the match, throughout the night.
I miss all that crazy stuff. All right, so so MJF gets the pin on that one. So what do we got next?
Well, before the next match, there was a little segment with one of their reporters. I'm going to butcher this name probably. Chris Van Vliet.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever his name is, I'm just calling him CVV.
Okay.
Why did you sound like you were in rewind mode for a second?
It's spelled very weirdly.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was out there on the sideline interviewing Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, talking about their new movie, Jason Bob Reboot.
which was pretty funny.
Have you ever seen it?
No. I'm talking about the whole segment.
The whole segment actually
was funny.
The celebrity interview.
Yeah.
With
Jason Mewes, like, I heard you guys can't even win a match.
Yeah.
And, like, that was so lame,
It was.
dude.
Who could do that line?
I know, he could have gone so much more harder on that, but it's like, you guys can't even win a match.
Yeah, so they were interrupted by, was it Jack Evans and Angelico.
Yeah.
And then, which for some reason, I guess Private Party showed up.
Yeah.
And that was the end.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, there was a lot of wrestlers that are on the roster that we didn't see this week, and I think that's smart. Where it's not like WWE where you have 5 shows every week and you get to throw out all these people. You're not going to see the same wrestlers every week.
Well,
you're going to have these storylines building, every other week, and you're going to see characters like Angelico, who was one of my personal favorites from like Lucha Underground. It's going to be good because you won't see him every week. So when you see stuff like that, when he pops in and starts a little beef with somebody, okay, that's cool, but you're not going to see it until maybe next week or the week after because they're going to build up that little rivalry a bit, and then they're going to see them pop off.
Didn't NXT did that for a time too, or are they still doing that? Where, like, not every wrestler was featured for a while. Like you'd have to wait a couple days or a couple weeks.
Yeah, they used to do that a little more, but now
it keeps it fresh. We don't get tired of the wrestlers. I do like that.
And a lot of people were complaining like, well, where was Luchasaurus and where was blah blah blah? I'm like,
Jungle Boy.
You don't need these guys on every show every week.
Besides, they were announced for next week anyway.
Yeah,
you have a big enough roster, you can actually expand the storylines that way.
Yeah, so I think it's really smart to not have the same people the same week every week. It's just crazy. So go on.
After that, I don't know if we want to talk about SCU at all in their promo.
Yes, I do.
So basically, I thought the whole promo in front of the
White House?
In front of the White House.
Okay, with Scorpio Sky's impersonation of Obama.
I will say this. I was surprised by how well he nailed Obama.
He did it really good, right? I was like, because I've been following Scorpio Sky for close to 10 years, and I've said it forever, that dude's going to be a star someday. I freaking said it for many years. And it's so cool to see him on AEW, and with SoCal Uncensored, with 2 guys, Kazarian and the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. I've always loved those guys from back in the Impact or TNA days. To see them come together with Scorpio Sky is like something beautiful to me because I genuinely love all 3 of those guys, and they're a total SoCal, Southern California team. They were born, grinded their teeth here in Cali. They hit all the indie shows. They're a straight up Southern California team, and I love those guys.
Yeah, I'm just learning about them myself. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can actually have to offer.
Right.
They look like some pretty good heavy hitters. On top of that,
have you never seen Christopher Daniels or Kazarian?
No. That's my first time experiencing this whole thing.
Yeah.
What I am happy about is I always did wonder how Obama would look if he hit the gym. I am completely satisfied and not disappointed.
Yeah, no kidding. So I really love that promo. Didn't they end up coming out
and doing another promo?
Yeah, right. They had an interview with Tony Schiavone up at the top of the ramp
where he mentioned WCW again.
Yeah.
he stopped himself halfway.
He was
like
did.
AEW.
Yeah, he totally did.
And Scorpio Sky announced that it would be Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian that will be participating in the tag team tournament.
And then who comes out? The Lucha Brothers. So that's another team people were asking about. Where's the Lucha Brothers? And
there you go.
And again, I don't think people notice they were there, but again, you're not going to see these people wrestle every week, and you don't need to see them wrestle every week. And unlike things where like Brock Lesnar, you see him wrestle once or twice every 6 months. At least once every 2-3 weeks is going to be perfect fit for you guys.
Basically, this isn't the WWE where they're gonna half-fist a story out of nowhere. A week before their pay-per-view, you're gonna actually get some build-up for once. It's gonna take time to build some story.
And that's what I even said with things like The Fiend. I don't need Bray Wyatt coming out and wrestling every Raw or every SmackDown. You have him wrestle once a pay-per-view, build up story, have him cut promos throughout the week.
A couple of Firefly Funhouses.
Yeah.
But what is WWE doing with him? Isn't he making features, or isn't he always on Raw?
Oh, but that's only promos though. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm totally fine. So it builds story to a match, and then that's how you build up a good rivalry. That's what they're supposed to do. So all right. With that out of the way, what match do we got next?
The next match is Hangman Adam Page versus the Bastard Pac.
I wanted to call him the Bastard Pac.
And that's literally his cosign. That's literally what they call him.
Which is pretty freaking cool. I like it.
What's his Pac or Pac?
It's Pac. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's literally but that's even his Twitter handle, Bastard Pac.
Well, at least he embraces
which
it.
is pretty funny. Good match. I really love this match. I think maybe not everyone knows about Hangman Page.
I certainly didn't. I mean, I knew of him. I never saw him wrestle. I saw
Yeah.
the story when he was announced as the title contender.
Yeah.
I saw what happened when he wrestled Pac the first time
Yeah.
back in London or England, somewhere in England.
Yeah. What Adam Page kind of reminds me of, he kind of reminds me of Bradshaw. He kind of has that.
I like his gimmick.
That hard hitting, one hit takes you down kind of, old school wrestling. He's a very stocky, large dude.
He looks like he was raised in Texas.
And it was a great matchup with Pac too, because once again he also has that same hard hitting style.
Yeah.
And so this was to me, I thought it was a very solid hard hitting match. I was a little surprised because they were outside of the ring for a long time at multiple points during the match. And for an organization that I thought was going to kind of be very ticky-tacky about rules.
Yeah, they seem to just
there was no count-outs. There was no nothing in that match. So I was
but not just that match. There was a lot of hiccups here and there. Was wait a minute.
We'll get to some of those. Yeah.
But overall, the match was really good. Obviously, a lot of people know Neville, the king of the cruiserweights from WWE. But this kind of reintroduced him. And I've always liked him as a wrestler. His look, his big old ears.
all I could say is the entire time I was watching the match was you see, Vince, this is what happens when you don't stick a wrestler with a stupid gimmick.
Right.
And ditch the damn cape.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
What are you doing?
But I think it was even Tony Schiavone who's like, oh, the man that gravity forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, don't use that.
Don't do that. Don't call him that. You shall not be named.
Yeah, that was a Michael Cole thing. Don't do that. Don't bring that over here, okay?
Don't Michael Cole us.
But the match was fantastic. Again, I think it highlighted both people very well, what they can do. Obviously, Pac is a fantastic wrestler.
I want to say all matches highlighted each wrestler.
I think so. Yeah. So ultimately, Pac got the win on that one, which I think was good because I think we'll see more of what Adam Page the Hangman.
Because Adam Page actually lost their first match, right?
Yes, yeah.
So now establishing this
losing
record,
streak.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's beautiful. I love the no 50-50 looking.
Yeah, so I think that's what's got. They're building up to something more. That's going to be going on maybe at their next pay-per-view, which is in November, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Makes him an underdog against Pac at that point.
Yeah. So and again, I think Adam Page will be one of those guys who at some point will be a title contender, even a title AEW champion at some point.
I think when he wins, it'll be one of those monumentous moments that people will celebrate for him. They build him up if they build him up right.
Absolutely. All right. So what match do we got next?
We had the match for the inaugural Women's Championship between Nyla Rose and Riho.
All right. So how did you guys like this match overall?
For me, I will say this. For me, it's still the show. I was not expecting much from this match because I knew none of them. I got a little bit of news from Nyla Rose. I knew nothing about Riho. Not only did, for me, they stole the match, Riho definitely stole my heart. I am crushing on her, I will admit, but at the same time, the story they told about her just being the underdog, being just smashed by Nyla Rose, and then coming out on top was just really amazing. It blew me away. I marked out for it.
Got you.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty standard, typical underdog versus a monster heel to me. There were some pretty cool spots in the match, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the ones I was talking about during the commercial break, the little video. Riho was draped over the top rope. Nyla Rose goes to the top rope herself, turnbuckle, drops that knee all the way down, and all that I could have easily skipped by fast forwarding through the commercials, but I couldn't because things like that happened during that.
And that was a match specifically where I was thinking, dude, this match is going to end during the commercials. Yeah. How are they going to treat that?
At any
because they were going so hard.
Riho
I was like, oh my goodness,
she could have been broken at any moment by Nyla Rose.
And that's what I love because Nyla Rose is so hard hitting.
Very athletic.
So
she got
powerful, man. So powerful, so fast. And then Riho just seems like a very sweet little girl, but she's badass.
With a lot of heart.
Oh, that running knee. That
The
was
double knee,
just,
yeah,
the
yeah.
double running knee. That got me good.
Yeah,
that was just
yeah.
like, I'm a fan.
So they definitely played into that whole David versus Goliath thing, because a lot of us thought that like there's no way Riho's gonna win against Nyla Rose, because Nyla Rose is a beast of a fighter, you know. And but ultimately Riho took the win and became the very first AEW Women's Champion, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I think the belt could have been a little nicer.
Like the design.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just looked a little. I mean, compared to the AEW Championship, it does look a little. I don't know, rinky-dink. At least I felt.
I will say this: the belt does look small, but it made me laugh because as small as it does look, it still looks big on Riho.
Well, I think like I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said because a lot of people were saying things, everything too, that it felt very tiny, but she used the word dainty, and dainty makes it feel a little more feminine, where it's not just like a replica of the AEW, just in a different version, like the WWE women's titles are.
Yeah,
they're just remade versions of the men's titles.
It does look like a legit, like if you were to be a women's boxer, that's the type of belt you would
Exactly.
get.
So
it looks like a prize
it felt
fighting
a lot
belt.
more dainty and a little more feminine, but still in a very pro wrestling way.
And I think the reason why they went that route was because knowing that maybe Riho was going to be the inaugural champion, so that maybe fits her body type a little bit
Yeah,
better.
because Nyla Rose is going to throw that over her shoulder.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so again, Riho got the win. Again, first AEW Women's Champ. So what do we got next?
Well, once again, after the match, there was supposed to be a post-match interview that got interrupted again, which I don't know. I'm really getting mad at that. I want to start seeing those post-match interviews.
What I will give once again to give some praise to Nyla Rose, she saved that announcer's life. By the way.
Okay. Yeah, true.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Very, very, very
Yes.
Yeah,
very true.
That guy flubbed the power bomb, and she just lifted him up, and it's like, no, we're doing this again.
true. Yeah,
and
that
gave
was
it to him.
gnarly.
That was strength.
Okay, why I kind of think they're maybe interrupting some of these backstage interviews. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I feel like a lot of these people aren't ready for talking on the mic as
So
much.
protecting them a little.
I think so. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think they're kind of just working them into it. Again, being how we were talking about earlier, with being camera ready and being used to being in front of a camera and speaking, fully and things like that. I think we're going to see a little less of that with certain people as much as they work with them over time. So we'll see more of that later on as the show goes on.
That way we don't get them yelling, "Asuka is ready," and the mic is put on.
Yes, exactly. So, all right. So what do we have after that?
After that, I do believe it is the main event of the evening, The Elite. Matt and Nick Jackson with Kenny Omega versus Jericho and I want to say LAX, but I don't think they're going by that anymore, right?
No, it's still LAX.
Is it still LAX? Yep. Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's not the original LAX. That's what because the original LAX was like Conan and some of the older guys, but this is the LAX that's spawned from TNA basically. And,
Okay.
Yeah, but they're still all part of the same encompassing thing.
They really should get Conan.
They're Hispanics from LA, bro.
I enjoyed a lot of their antics in ring. It was pretty fun.
They're half of our cousins. We get it.
Yeah, no kidding. So, all right, this match, again, Chris Jericho, LAX versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. In my opinion, all of them stars, because I love every last one of these guys. What did you guys think about this match overall?
I liked it, even though if we're being real about the rules, it should have ended maybe about 3 minutes into the actual match when a certain Dean Moxley came in and kind of interrupted things. I did like seeing Kenny Omega and John Moxley fight, but it would have been better post-show or maybe pre-show before the match.
Yeah.
That being said, it really gave a chance for the Young Bucks to be elevated in this, and Matt
and Nick.
Matt Jackson.
Yeah.
Really showed that he can wrestle.
I think you mean Nick. The very last sequence he had the hot tag.
Well, Matt, because he's the one that held it down for a while.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did.
he's the one that had a double suplex, right?
Yeah, Matt's the
that's what I'm
Matt's
talking
the
about. Matt
older
Jackson,
brother.
man, like he really impressed me with that.
How I see this is like they're almost like old school Hardy Boys. Obviously, Matt Jackson's like Matt Hardy. He's a little more of the power, and he's a little more of ring wisdom. You know what I mean?
I see a little bit of Shawn Michaels in them too. Obviously, the super kick and whatnot, but But because of their style, their flair, not only that, but their ability is just amazing.
And they just work so freaking well together, man. And I know some people make fun of them because they have what's called a super kick party, where they just throw 20 super kicks in a single match.
They know what they're doing. They're pissing people off by doing it.
I think it's all part of the show. It's all part of the show.
They're just pissing off the marks at that point.
Yeah. But like you're saying, I think the whole thing with Jon Moxley and Omega, going off to the side, and they wrestled back in the VIP lounge in the back.
The Death Rider onto the glass table.
What I did like about the whole exchange was the very beginning of it when Jon Moxley appears in front of behind Kenny Omega. The very first time I've actually seen a wrestler react to the audience of like, something went wrong.
You're like, why is Kenny Omega had this look like, why is everybody cheering right now?
What? Yeah.
Like,
they shouldn't be cheering for this.
Yeah. But I think they went off and did their own thing because, like you were saying, this gave the chance for the Young Bucks to like shine and the other teams like LAX, because the LAX is still very new to AEW. They just joined like a few weeks ago.
This was my first time seeing LAX, and I like what I saw so far. Once again, like great first time experience. I'm looking to see more.
Yeah.
Especially going against the Young Bucks.
Yeah, so I think this is obviously going to set up more of a storyline with Omega and Jon Moxley, but it really let these two actual tag teams shine, because other guys are just more indie solo wrestlers who teamed up with these other teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the match was incredible. LAX is super dope and super funny when in their in-ring stuff. They're very gimmicky and they're very Hispanic, and I love that personally.
But it's not laid on thick either.
No, it's not. It's very natural with them, because that's who they are. Their gimmick is literally who they really are.
Yeah, it's very genuine.
Yeah, very, very much so.
As Bat Bomb dies.
But then it shows the Young Bucks were just so on point with everything they're doing, and I trip out sometimes at how many people really hate the Young Bucks for whatever reason, and I get it, because maybe the Young Bucks may be a little cocky here and there.
I will say this, when I first heard about them, I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago, I did not like them. I thought they spammed the super kick.
Yeah.
And they were doing a disservice.
Oh, but then you realize it was part of...
That guy kind of got the gag that, they based off the marks, and I fell for it.
Yeah,
and then the more I watched them in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the more I liked them, and now I'm a big fan of theirs. Yeah, I'm part of the elite. I'm part of... I'm a fan of the
supporter,
elite.
Yeah,
supporter.
Yeah, they're very good at just what they do, and again, like you said, they do all this stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
And then they're not shy about it. They accept it, and they embrace the haters and all this stuff. So
anyone that likes Robot Chicken and anyone that likes wrestling, check out Be the Elite on YouTube. Being the Elite on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So overall, what do you guys think of the match? Then you like the entire match as a whole?
The entire match as a whole was pretty good. I wish we could have gone a little bit more 3-on-3 or 6-man tag action. But as Will the Thrill here, he's a huge fan of the Elite. I'm a huge fan of Moxley, so seeing him come out to continue that storyline with Kenny is really exciting.
And people marked out as soon as he came into the ring.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Dean Moxley. Period. It's just I would like to see Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. I would like to have seen that tag team go a little further.
Yeah. And again, I think
they teased us hard.
Like I've been saying, we're gonna get this stuff later.
I think a lot of these are going to be filling in, getting ready for Full Gear, which I think is happening pretty soon. Right?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the next pay-per-view?
Yeah, Full Gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, they're building up to stuff, and we're not going to see everything all the time right away. I know we may want to, but I think the way they're pacing things out is going to be very smart. Because with things like Monday Night Raw, where you have 3 hours and they just try to cram everything in. Sometimes it can feel like too much.
It's 3 hours, and it feels like they still can't fit anything into it.
Yes.
If it's 3 hours, it feels like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we saw this. It was a 2-hour event. Didn't feel like 2 hours.
No, it didn't.
When it was over, we're like, wait, we're done?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there some more left?
It went by very quickly. I was like, wow, really? Because I wanted more.
Where's the cuckold story?
Yeah.
I'm missing my cuckold story.
Yeah. So, the Young Bucks win. They win this match. And obviously...
Wait, did the Young Bucks win?
Yeah.
They did not.
They didn't? They didn't.
No.
Who won? LAX
and Jericho. Yeah. The numbers overtook the odds were too much for them.
I forgot about Jericho. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so Jericho was still in the match.
Yeah.
Jericho was still in the match.
That's right. He was still on the ring apron. He was still going hard. That's
Meanwhile,
right. I
the
totally
Jackson
forgot.
brothers.
I got so distracted with everything going on with
I love
John
how
Moxley.
basically both Jacksons were just manhandling all 3 tag
That's
members
right.
at the same time.
Completely forgot about Jericho because, again, even Jericho, even though he was still there, he took a back seat to the other tag teams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were both going so hard.
Well, that's why it was such a great thing that they made Jericho the champion. Jericho, if nothing else, is great at putting people over. For crying out loud, he put a clipboard over.
He put over
A little bit of the bubbly.
He put over Fandango at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the greatest pushes I've ever seen anybody do.
Yeah.
And where's Fandango now? Nowhere.
Well, thanks to Vince.
Oh, I think he's going back to NXT now.
Yeah.
Hey, that tag team he has with who was it again? What was it?
Tyler
tag team?
Breeze.
Tyler Breeze.
Breeze
That
Angle.
was a great. The Breeze Angle was a
The
great
Fashion
tag
Police.
The
team.
Fashion Police, I had a lot
They
of
got themselves over.
They did over that stupid gimmick, but it was
Oh,
funny.
that's super good. Well, the B team put themselves over too before Vince ruined
Oh,
them.
did you guys notice that Jericho's wearing a little bit of the bubbly shirt?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a shirt
yeah.
now.
Yes,
That I was like,
I
oh
want it.
my
My,
god.
my question though is to you: are you getting that shirt?
No.
Are you not a fan of a little bit of the bubbly?
I thought it was so stupid.
I am.
It was funny, but I'm like, people thought it was like the greatest thing in the world. I was like, okay.
Oh, the moment I heard it, I went out to 7-Eleven and got their most expensive bottle of champagne.
Oh my god.
Barefoot champagne.
Oh yeah.
Champagne.
Some champagne.
Champagne.
Yeah. But I thought that was super funny.
I'm fancy. I'm
I was
cultured.
like, he totally made that a thing, and he's rolling with it. I'm like, go ahead, dude. You do what you got to do. So,
Like I said,
at this point, he's so good. He's just like, what am I going to put over this?
You
He
can't-
throws darts on a wall.
you can't.
Like that's what it is.
You can't hate. All I'm saying, if you were a fan of the list, you cannot hate a little bit of the bubbly.
that's
He
true.
put over a clipboard.
Which was great, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
So post main event, after Jericho and LAX get the win, Jericho starts the beatdown, and so does everybody else on all the faces. Cody comes in to attack Jericho.
it's kind of like kind of revenge for him attacking him at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we had Sammy Guevara come and attack Cody.
Yeah.
Which we
With
were
a low
totally
blow.
expecting that bad.
Yeah.
With a low blow.
I love Sammy Guevara's like, whatever, low blow.
Dustin comes out to save everybody and,
people-
also low blow Sammy Guevara.
People marked out for Dustin as soon as they saw him coming
Dustin.
out.
I love his new ring
I've
gear.
loved Dustin for the longest time. He was shortchanged in WWE. I'm really glad to see him getting the respect he deserves in AEW.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then
He's only gotten better as he's gotten older.
while Dustin's trying to hold things together, the big surprise of the night
Somehow.
was Jack Hager coming in to clean house.
I'm sorry, that swagger will always be swagger to me.
Yeah. So anyways,
He'll always be jumping Jack Flash to me.
Oh my god. So anyways, Jack Hager comes out and starts tearing people up, and the crowd again marks out because we heard that he was coming to AEW. It was more rumors. We never got an official, yes, he's all elite.
I thought he was perfectly happy at MMA.
I thought so too. I'm almost positive he still has another match coming.
Really?
In MMA.
My main thing is so Jack Swagger has a certain reputation because of WWE and just how much his career just
His gimmick.
his gimmick
Yeah.
was just terrible. It died off eventually. It's a very slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Seeing Jack Hager, that's a little different. I see a different intensity in him. I like the look he kind of has right now.
I really like the fact that people were really excited to
There's
see him.
some potential. He can be a good heel, especially, and this is pure speculation on my part. I'm just calling it right now. A heel click, a heel stable. With what we saw
with everybody standing
with
in a row.
LAX, with LAX
Sammy Guevara, Jericho, and Jack Hager.
and Jack Hager.
I don't think they're going to go that route, but
I'm just saying to match the elites, you make the elites. I'm not calling them the elites, but you get Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks.
Well, I don't see LAX being a part of that, honestly.
Why not?
Because I know ultimately LAX does what LAX wants to do. They're never any part of anything bigger. They're always with LAX.
But
I think this was just more or less...
Two stables going after each other keeps LAX.
Well, I think
in the
that'll
main-
eventually
in the main-
happen, but I don't think LAX is going to be a part of it. I think this was more just establishing, hey, look, these are our heels. These are the guys that you're going to hate. I think that's all it was.
I don't like that because that kind of does what WWE does. Like, oh, look at this random team of mid-card heels attacking a random.
Well, the thing is, AEW has to establish these guys. You know what I mean?
That's true.
This is the first week. People don't know these people.
I know half.
Yeah, the average fan doesn't know.
I know a third of them.
Doesn't know Sammy Guevara.
Or LAX.
Like you're saying, you didn't even know LAX, and LAX has been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
But a lot of people don't know who these people are, and plus,
getting better.
And plus, it gave people to mark out for Jack Hager, establish him as a heel.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know. Again, we heard rumors, but we didn't know he was for sure signed. But now this establishes, hey, he's coming back as a heel. I think Jericho's going to be the main heel.
I'm kind of thinking I'm getting myself a good Sammy Guevara shirt.
Let's get one.
After I get myself a little bit of the bubbly shirt.
Oh my God, you guys are so marks.
Well, I'm also gonna get myself a good So Cold. I got it.
Oh my goodness,
my wrestling gear.
But yeah, I think that's mostly what it was. I think it was just them establishing, look, these are our heels. I can see LAX maybe working with Jericho directly. I don't see Jimmy Guevara becoming part of a stable. I think because even when you listen to him on podcasts, he more or less wants to be his own thing. He doesn't even really want to be a tag team.
I mean, a stable's a good way to jumpstart a solo career.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think
help with The Rock.
I think it would be interesting and diverse. I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, I'm not going to hate it. I think it's real because I like all those people.
I think the American wrestling scene can benefit from a few stables here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been saying that I miss stables.
Yeah,
I really, really do. So, overall, the entire show from a 1 to 5, what would you guys rate the entire episode of Dynamite? Being again their first show with obviously a lot of things need to be worked out. Not everything was perfect. There's a lot of wrestlers. Everybody still needs to learn. Yeah. What do you think overall?
Something in the presentation is still kind of showed that this was definitely the first episode. But for the first episode, it was well put together. There were no major botches for the most part. There were some obvious near misses.
Yeah,
I always hated that term, but yeah, there was always some obvious near misses. But it turned out okay. The women's match for me stole the show. I liked it. I liked it a lot. So I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5, a solid 4 out of 5.
All right. What about you?
Yeah, I thought any sort of problems, which there weren't really much in terms of production. I thought, but what there was outweighed by all the in-ring action.
Right.
The in-ring action, it was just incredible. It was fun, and I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
And one more thing about the production value, about the presentation. They are making it obvious that they are shooting for the big time. This is a direct shot to Raw. This is a direct shot to SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
They're not aiming for NXT. They are definitely trying to it. But if they're going to do that, include some more pyro.
Yeah. I think overall the show was very well done. I think as far as production goes, I won't even compare it to things like WWE because I know a lot of people want to do that because it's a natural thing to do.
I'm just saying they're aiming.
No. Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think that they're not trying to do that, what WWE does, because people need to understand that what WWE does is a WWE thing. Not all these other companies don't do what they do when it comes to the pop and circumstance.
Because it's not wrestling.
It's not their thing. You know, WWE does that, and because they're the most popular, they're the most widespread, people just associate with, okay, well, all companies need to do this. No, they don't. Ring of Honor doesn't do that. New Japan doesn't do that. AEW doesn't do that. You know, AAA doesn't do all that. That's a WWE thing. So what AEW is doing is more or less what all other wrestling companies do, to be honest with you. And I think it fits perfectly because they want to showcase the wrestlers, their characters, a lot more than you know. So many people complain about wrestlers like Shinsuke Nakamura getting over just by his entrance, or Finn Balor just getting over just by his entrance, or you know Bobby Roode getting over just by his entrance and his music.
They got over with their skills first, and then WWE added those.
Yeah, and a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people claim that's how they got over. Yeah. And I love Bobby Roode because dude's awesome, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Glorious. But so what AEW is, they're trimming all that down and saying, look, these are our guys. This is what they could do. Screw the music and screw all the big stuff and whatnot. Look what they could do with the mic. Look what they could do with in the ring, and that's what they're showcasing more. And I think that's perfect. I think that's what they need to do. But at the same time, what you're saying, yes, they're going above things like NXT, and it almost feels like more of a Raw or SmackDown, because they're in those bigger arenas. They have the more professional lighting. Yeah. They have more of an entrance stage, even more so than NXT.
Yeah.
So they can do all that stuff even more so. So, for me personally, I still think they can grow, obviously. But
this is season 1.
You guys give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4.5. And that's mostly for me being a big fan of the indies and seeing a lot of these guys grow up in the business for like so many years. Even guys like, I'm so excited to see Luchasaurus come in next week. That's been one of my favorite guys for at least several years. And to see that he's finally, he's officially left the indie scene, which is really sad to me. But to see him get that hype of like the big thing, big name, they want him to almost be like a Kane for AEW. And I freaking love Kane. That's one of my top 3 wrestlers right there. You know what I mean?
Because you need that indestructible
he
guy.
Could be their Kane, and this guy's more of a high-flying monster, which is even crazier. So I'm super hyped for the show. So for my rank is a 4.5 out of 5. So overall, I think the show was fantastic. I don't think anyone can fully complain, oh, this show is garbage. It was not. It was...
No, there's something for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about NXT a little bit. So we're just going to sum up the show. We're not going to go match by match. Overall, what did you guys think of the show in entirety?
I liked it.
You could run down a few matches if you want to.
Adrian could probably do that. He has a better memory on it.
Well, the first match was the title match.
Yeah, Adam Cole, Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle, yeah.
Yeah.
I had this, like I was telling you earlier, I had this love-hate with Matt Riddle thing. Like, I really want to hate him, but his skill...
Matt Riddle has won me over as a legit wrestler.
Yeah, I'm already a fan. I just don't want to admit I'm a fan with Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole barefooted thing, he's got it. He's got it. He can, if done right, he can be WWE's next star. He could be the next Kenny Omega. He could be the next AJ Styles. He could be the next guy that defines a new generation. If done right.
Okay, well, for me, I'm still a little slow on the Matt Riddle train. I've always been like...
He's got the skill. He's got the skill.
No, I think he's got the skill. It's fine. It's like with Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton's got the skill, but he still bores the crap out of me.
The fact that he'll completely crap talk legends like Goldberg.
Yeah. Him and his Twitter feed.
At first, I wanted to hate him about that, but let's be honest.
He uses Twitter better than Seth Rollins.
Yeah. He uses Twitter better than our president does.
Half of wrestling is Twitter now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. A lot of these guys build their...
all these wrestlers use Twitter better than any of our politicians.
Well, let's think about that, though. This all started with Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder's the first guy who really made social media, as far as wrestling goes, a thing.
And look what Vince done to him.
And look what Vince did to him. Damn it. Woo. Yeah. So that match was epic, in my opinion. I'm a big Adam Cole fan, and it's still crazy to me that he's competing with his wife, because Britt Baker, his wife, is on AEW.
Oh yeah, she came out as a guest commentator.
Yeah, she was a commentator in the women's match.
Well, John Moxley's wife is of a WWE
yeah.
too.
So it's weird seeing that, like, oh man, that has to be an uncomfortable thing, kind of.
I know, right? When the ratings come out, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Well, were the ratings out? I heard.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Really?
So.
Can you imagine just, whoever's on top that week is probably on top that week?
Yeah.
I'm making my prediction right now. AEW is on top of NXT.
Oh, for the first week, heck yeah.
Yeah, week 1.
We'll see what happens.
I'll say NXT is going to beat out in ratings.
And, okay, look, the whole show for NXT to me was kind of like saying, like, okay, you guys saw that, but we still got something here.
Yeah.
And they really did show it. One thing I liked about the NXT presentation, it felt more like that not Fight Club, but more that classic MMA boxing presentation more than AEW did. In terms of the way they had kind of had the audience dark.
Well, it's because it's a really small arena too. It's very small. It's nowhere near as big as a full arena.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of felt the difference.
Yeah.
It did feel a little small. It felt a little bit more independent wrestling.
They do that on they do that on purpose to make it feel a little more intimate.
But aren't they going to be traveling?
They are traveling, yeah. They just do small arenas.
So are they just going to do small arenas?
Yeah, they're doing small arenas.
Like
that was in.
That was Full Sail, wasn't it?
That was Full Sail.
Yeah.
How many seats is Full Sail?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I could not tell you.
Because are they going to try to stick to like 50,000 seat arenas or 24,000 seat arenas?
They're going to do things like
because at 24 you're already talking like baseball.
Let's say oh gosh. Well, even that place is fairly big now. The Ontario place over here, what is it now? The Honda Center, or what is this place right now?
Yeah, I think it's called the Honda Center.
Yeah, that place. Yeah, like that place is a little smaller than the Staples Center. Like Staples Center is probably like the biggest one we have in Cal. They're gonna do more like those college arenas. Yeah. Maybe more stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So we're not gonna see them at an actual stadium.
No. You see, they do that on purpose.
At that point, if they're trying to use NXT as direct competition to AEW, then I can see where AEW is going to succeed over NXT to the mainstream fan.
Right, and that's going to depend later on too, like we're going to talk about ratings. You know, how are the ratings going to be? Because again, first week, I think AEW is going to have all the hype. But let's see what happens in 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah, because you still have to sell out.
You got to maintain all that.
Yeah, you still have to sell out a 30,000 person arena, seat arena every week.
Yeah, because even Raw and SmackDown doesn't sell out every arena. You know what I mean? So.
But that was Raw and SmackDown doing it to themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But now with competition, obviously they're gonna have to push themselves, and with pushing themselves, I wonder if that's gonna make NXT go to bigger arenas to get more masses in there and things like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think the original plan, I think Vince wasn't probably thinking that, they're going to go that big right away.
Right.
And when he kind of saw that, maybe in the next month or so, you'll see NXT in bigger arenas, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. But I think you could tell that NXT just said, we're going to go balls to the wall with this show. They jumped to the 2-hour mark.
They did and they didn't. They kept the presentation the same. They let their skill show in the ring. That's
that booking was fantastic for that show.
Outshined AEW. I will say that NXT in the ring and pure talent did outshine. There was
really,
for me, it felt that way. I didn't see nearly as many almost botches as we could see where like AEW is definitely fledgling. NXT wrestlers seem more groomed.
But you gotta think of it. Well, they're groomed because they usually they have a home base.
Well, that and they got
they get to chill, they get to rehearse, they get to do this. It's gonna change once they get on the road. Once they get on the road, we're gonna probably see a lot more botches, a lot more sloppier work.
You don't think Triple H has prepped them for that?
As much you can't really prep for it.
You can't really prep.
You're not hitting the gym as often. You're eating worse food.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't prep for that kind of stuff.
Because a lot of these AEW wrestlers had been traveling this whole time before the show.
They've been doing it at Full Sail for how long now?
Yeah,
they got that system down pat. That production is good to go.
Yeah.
And that's the one place I thought that obviously they outshine AEW. Their production was flawless because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
I like their production and presentation better in AEW than I did NXT.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it going either way, but again, I still feel like some people were saying that
it still felt like I was watching on the
AEW was like they felt no sense of urgency with trying to like pop things off, but NXT was all balls to the wall. I didn't feel that way at all.
I think that's desperation from NXT.
Yeah. and that's exactly how I saw it. I saw it as NXT is like, dude, okay, these guys are gonna pop off, and we're not gonna do big. Let's throw out a title match, the first match of the night.
Of course, who else came back to NXT though was
Finn freaking Balor, bro.
Yeah. So I say that's a bit of a move.
That's desperation right there. You know what I mean? And he literally said he's back in NXT, which I don't think anybody saw coming. I'm cool with it because I love Finn Balor. That's one again.
I haven't been using him in Raw well at all. So it's just like, I'll go to NXT.
And I didn't think he was going to come back for at least another couple months.
Really?
I thought he wasn't coming back to like Survivor Series.
I kind of have a feeling that there's going to be some more main roster people showing up on NXT because I don't think NXT is going to be the minor leagues, I guess, for lack of a better term. I think they're going to be their own thing now. And I kind of had a feeling they were going to do that. Where a few weeks ago, I want to say there was some kind of where AJ Styles was kind of like jumping someone, and he said, "I'll see you in NXT," and he threatened to go to NXT. And then I think that was around the same time they fired Kevin Owens, and he said, "Well, maybe I'll go to NXT." There was a lot of rumors, people saying that, like, "Oh yeah, well maybe speculation. Now they're going to start throwing the main roster people into NXT now and start really mixing things up."
Now that you've said it, I would really love to see Kevin Owens back in NXT.
I've kind of thought that too, because here's how I've seen it. Now NXT is on a 2-hour timeline. They've never been 2 hours before. It's always been 1 hour.
But they do have the cast, the roster too.
The what?
Don't they have a roster to fill 2 hours with though?
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. They have the numbers. They don't have the stars. Because keep in mind, NXT is still developmental, kinda.
Yeah.
It's obviously becoming more of like a bigger show, but they need stars like Finn Balor with being on TV now.
Basically, we already just saw all their major stars in this one pay-per-view, while AEW still has like a bunch left.
I mean, they threw Ciampa in. They isn't Gargano back too?
Gargano's been back.
Gargano's been around for a while.
Ciampa's back. Finn Balor's back. I don't think you're going to throw much people in there.
I'm really excited about that whole storyline they got going on with Cole, Finn Balor, and Ciampa in the mix for it now. That's good. Can you imagine that triple threat?
That's going to be wild, dude. So I think we're going to start seeing more of that. I could even see, what's his name, Zack Ryder and his partner. I could even see them going down there to build Kurt Hawkins. Yeah, I can see them doing that to build up to maybe the NXT tag team division. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys, I think NXT, I think AEW is a positive thing for WWE in the fact that it's forcing them to use NXT as a main show, which, since it's expanding to the 2 hours, they need to fill that with stars. So what's going to happen? They're going to take people from the main roster, bring them in NXT, give them a chance to shine. For people, we've all been saying, why aren't you guys giving these people TV time? Why haven't they been getting chances? Why haven't they been getting pushes? Now that we have technically, I guess you could call it a third show that, in a lot of people's view, is better than the main roster. Now it's going to give a lot of these characters a chance to shine too. You know, with people like Finn Balor, he was pushed to the top right away, but unfortunately got hurt. And then he was just pushed to the back burner soon as that was done.
All those takeover shows have been showcasing a lot of those wrestlers for the longest time already. Now they could actually just debut it to the mainstream media.
Yes. So what? Now that you have, again, they have the numbers, but what they need are those stars to help push the newer guys into the mainstream too, which is what AEW is doing. Which was why they have Chris Jericho and what's his name? Jack Hager, and John Moxley, and these are people everyone knows. They're gonna help push people like Sammy Guevara and even the Young Bucks, because not everyone even in the States here knows the Young Bucks. You know what I mean? So all these other guys are gonna push these younger guys, and that's exactly what NXT is doing.
In your speculation, who goes to NXT from Raw and SmackDown? And in your opinion, who should go?
Like he was saying, like Adrian was saying, I would love Kevin Owens to go down to NXT.
I would like him to stay in SmackDown.
He was so good. Who else was Sami Zayn?
Oh, send those two
Sami
back.
Zayn and Kevin Owens in NXT? Their time in NXT was some of my favorite NXT shows.
But it was Sami Zayn's shoulder that ruined him, not like the main.
Well, that was also Kevin Owens that did that to him.
And then after that, you know, they got buried again, just like with Finn Balor. So if they're not going to use them right, send them over there. I think Sami Zayn could be so much more than just a mouthpiece.
And some of these guys thrive on that more indie feel. You know what I mean? I think some of these bigger stages like Raw and SmackDown are a little too overwhelming. So when they go to these more smaller shows like NXT, I think they thrive a lot more because those crowds, again, more intimate. If you're in the indie scene is really into the whole show. And I think a lot of these guys thrive with that more. So I think guys like Sami Zayn. I'm trying to think who else would benefit from going back to NXT. I think it's so crazy that Finn Balor, that's mind-blowing to me.
It's like it feels right.
Yeah,
almost.
It does. It very well does.
Who's next? Becky Lynch?
No, I was gonna say maybe even Asuka.
You know, I would have said Sasha Banks.
Think so? Really?
I think Sasha Banks should go back to NXT.
Yeah, she's got stuff.
Should she, or do you think she will?
She should.
I think she should.
Should maybe.
I think she should.
Yeah.
Her and Bayley should have.
Yeah. So I mean, what makes me a little sad though, to be honest with you, I guess this kind of halts a uniting of the club with Finn Balor.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing.
You know what I mean? That kind of puts a little kibosh on that for a while.
Unless AJ and the Good Brothers go,
dude.
To NXT.
Here's the thing.
Because what are they doing with the Good Brothers there? They're losing.
They're
being buried.
See, here's the thing. I would love that. I think it would be a super big pull for NXT to get AJ Styles. He would run that show.
It'd be another house that he built.
You could maybe put them against Undisputed Era.
Yeah,
yes.
That'd be a good rivalry. I think that would be super dope.
But won't that turn them face?
That's fine.
I like a heel AJ.
I like him both too, but I think you have to have one of them face, and I think the club would be a better face.
I just want to see
Finn
Balor as heel. I've never seen him heel before. I want to see.
Oh, dude, watch Bullet Club, bro.
Well, that's what we're supposed to be getting in NXT.
Yeah.
If we get the Good Brothers in AJ, we get the Bullet Club.
Yeah. So I think that would be.
But here's my thing: why can't it be heel against heel? I'm the best heel faction. Why does it always have to be good against bad? Why can't it be bad against bad? Just seeing who's more badass.
Because it's WWE, man. They have to have that good versus evil thing. I get what you're saying. I agree with you.
I'm just saying, Vince made millions off the backs of people of heels going against heels and badasses going against badasses.
Yeah.
You know, is he allergic to money?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I think the show overall for NXT was super dope. I love Io Shirai. I thought her match was fantastic.
That was a damn good match.
I love her, dude. She's so freaking good.
That was the heel one with the yellow, right? With the,
yeah.
Oh, I fell in love with her. She was a great heel.
She does. She's a great, fantastic heel.
Like, I could never buy certain wrestlers as heels because they're just too polite looking. Not her. Like, she's got the confidence.
No, she plays it perfectly.
Oh yeah. She's got her personality down packed.
Yeah.
I like how she was just hanging off the ropes at the end of the match. She's like, yeah, I'm here. I won. What of it?
Yeah.
Just laid back.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head what other matches there were. I can't. Oh my goodness, I'm totally drawing a blank on the matches right now.
I mean, there was Street Profits.
Street Profits. Did they wrestle?
They wrestled.
They wrestled for the NXT tag team.
My first time seeing them wrestle.
Oh, that's right, against the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Aside from ad-libbing on Raw.
Yeah. Which is, again, another great match. I love both those teams. I'm really hyped on the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I'm glad that Street Profits are... at least I hope the Street Profits are going to be done with the whole thing they do at Raw, and they just stick to the NXT roster.
Let's see what happens, because here's the thing. We have the draft coming up soon, so I'm thinking with this draft, they're gonna include NXT as a show to draft now.
Yeah.
So you think these people can either go from NXT to Raw now, SmackDown to NXT, Raw to SmackDown, you know what I mean? So I think the draft isn't going to be just between Raw and SmackDown anymore. That's me personally. Probably not going to happen. But I think NXT from this point on is going to be included in the draft, especially being on TV now with a 2-hour show.
I really don't think they should be touching NXT. I already have a bad feeling that NXT is going to get gutted in that draft.
Because it's Vince, is what he does.
You know what? I don't think so. Because
of
Raw
AEW?
and SmackDown are in a good place. They need to directly compete with AEW. So they want to push that, and they want to give it stars, which is why they're giving it Finn Balor. They want to push these stars on there, like,
I'm sure Finn Balor's not going anywhere.
They'll just gut SmackDown.
Yeah. Well, no, from what I heard, because of what the whole deal with Fox, they want the SmackDown to be the main show. So if anyone's going to get gutted,
will never allow
it doesn't
Raw.
matter. Remember, Vince is out of the...
There's people more powerful than Vince
Remember,
now.
Vince is he's taking a
I
back
can
burner.
only hope.
Vince is taking a back burner to a lot of this stuff right now.
Is he really, though?
He is. Dude, haven't you noticed in the shows in the past few months? They've been way different.
The last 2 weeks.
Oh, especially the last two, but the past few months.
The last few weeks, Vince was tearing up every single SmackDown script last minute, having them rewrite everything.
No. He's not even nowhere near that stuff. No.
Wasn't it like before the last one?
I think you're talking like this over the summer. The past few months, it's been mostly the new guys. Bischoff and...
Bischoff, last I heard, wasn't really doing much for the most part.
No, what he was saying...
He was just waiting for the whole Fox...
No, he was saying he was taking a back seat and kind of just watching things. And he did an interview about it and says, I just want to come in and see how everyone works and what they're doing with scripts. And he's just going to sit back and see how they do it. And then I'm going to come and fix it all.
They change everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. And in the past couple months, that's what it's been doing. You know what I mean? Which has been a lot better. The shows overall have been a lot better since Vince has kind of taken a back seat. Obviously, he's still the main dude, but it hasn't been all going through him like it originally did.
It's really interesting once the XFL kicks off to see how much Vince actually lets go at that.
You mean that thing is going to last one season?
Hey, who knows? Who knows?
I hope it lasts longer than AFL?
Oh, yeah.
It's called.
Yeah. So overall, I think this is going to be a very interesting kickoff to these Wednesday night wars. It's going to be intriguing to see where, again, NXT goes with their roster, because obviously it's going to be changing again with the draft coming up and things like that.
It really doesn't feel like a Wednesday night war type of thing. I think we're just in wrestling wars at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And
with New Japan Pro Wrestling being as popular as it is, the independent scene growing as big as it is.
Oh, even Impact get a new TV deal.
Yeah, getting a new TV deal.
You know, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
This isn't a Wednesday night or Monday night type. I think this is a full-on just wrestling war.
And I think that's because of AEW. I think it's because of AEW because they're pushing other people to recognize, okay, well, where did these Young Bucks guys come from? Where did Kenny Omega come from? They came mostly from New Japan, and now people are going to look into it like, oh, what's New Japan?
Yeah, let's go to New Japan. What's going on over there?
Let's check out New Japan now. We're guys like Kazarian and things, Impact,
Shinsuke
Ring of Honor. What's all that stuff from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to start looking at all this stuff more, and that's because I think AEW is pushing all that. So again, like you say, yeah, it is. It's kind of like a wrestling wars thing, period.
Yeah,
which is only good for all of wrestling and all the fans. That's good for everybody. You know,
it worked out in the mid to late '90s and the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
It's going to work out this time.
Yeah, so hopefully
it's a renaissance.
Hopefully, you know, week to week, we'll see how things go with AEW. Obviously, they got a lot of stories to build. It's going to be really determined by the next few months if they can carry a weekly show. Because for right now, they've just been doing house shows and pay-per-views. That's a completely different thing from a week-to-week show.
I definitely want to see how they push their storylines, considering that like this first episode was so match-filled. You had hardly any kind of setup for any kind of story. Most of the stories were told in ring throughout the match.
Yeah.
You know, but the parts where like the after-match interviews where you would use to build the storyline wasn't really there. So I kind of want to see how they progress on the storylines. Yeah. If it's going to be that jam-packed continuously with matches.
Yeah, I think they will. You know, I think they're going to do both, to be honest with you.
Do you think they're going to find the right balance eventually within the 2-hour window?
I mean, I want to say they will.
Why should they just admit, Vince was right, we have to go 3 hours?
Oh, man. Well, they don't have a roster for 3 hours. No.
That's when you fill it with drama and cuckold stories.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, I think we're in for a very interesting time to be a wrestling fan.
It's going to be a fun time.
There's so much going on. So many good things. Because there's been so many times where the dark days of wrestling where it was only WWE, and some of those shows were just very unwatchable and very uncomfortable.
From 2008 to now?
Oh, it was so bad. And it was only good during WrestleMania time, you know what I mean? For that month and a half.
Even then, the last year or so, it wasn't really good. It was just like passable.
It was long. It was passable.
It was passable. And then the length was just like, really, bro? 8 hours? I'm going to go get a drink.
And that's not including pre-show.
That's not including pre-show.
Oh, my goodness. But yeah, I think this gives fans to be excited for pro wrestling again. It's going to introduce people to a lot of new heads that you probably have never heard of. It's going to push companies like WWE to do a lot better. And again, that's just good for everybody. The fans, the companies, business in general. I'm so excited for everything going on. From what I've heard, WWE's bringing a lot of legends in as just consultants and things like that, and things behind the scenes, just so AEW doesn't get them.
You think they let think they let their talent actually go, you know, with their own scripts, or do you think they go ahead with the script?
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
I think what's going to happen.
You don't think in 2 or 3 years time they start going off their own scripts?
Well, here's the thing. From how I know Bischoff works specifically, or not Bischoff, Heyman. He's willing to take more suggestions from the talent. It's ultimately still got to go through him, whereas Vince was more dictating what's going to go on. So I think.
But do you think if the talent comes up to Paul Heyman and goes like, "Look, this script is trash. I got an idea for this. Let's go this route instead."
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that with Heyman more than Bischoff. Bischoff is a little more tyrannical than Heyman, but Bischoff is still more open than Vince is, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, again, exciting times.
He let Nash run the show.
We all see where that went. Tore his quad and everything. So, all right, guys. What would you guys rate NXT? Just give a quick rating, 1 to 5.
I'm gonna tie it with AEW.
Okay.
They're both really great shows. They both offered fantastic performances in a different style and different presentation.
Great. Yeah.
But they're both great. They're both amazing. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Right on.
I felt both of the shows had comparable in-ring action. I think that's who had the edge though this week. I believe was NXT, just because they're so practiced at this already.
Yeah, they're polished.
So I'm willing to give the NXT show a 5 out of 5.
Wow, that's good. It was a really good show. It was surprisingly good. In there are some episodes of NXT where it kind of just seems like they're just pushing. excuse me, I'm dying over here. It seems like they're just pushing all their
Get
developmental.
for crying out loud.
Yeah, really. It seems like some weeks they're just pushing all their developmental, and it's all these new people they're just introducing all at one show. I'm just like, it's kind of boring. At least mix it up a bit. And now it just seems like they're just going, we're going to throw everything at them. And that's what we need. It's exactly what we need. So I'm going to give NXT, because I'm a little biased at this point, a 4. Whereas AEW, I gave a 4.5. Again, that's me just saying because I love seeing the AEW guys come up from where I've seen them going from the past, 10 years. And it's really special to me, someone who's an indie fan, seeing all these people that I've been watching that a lot of people don't know of. Like, there's been my friends where I'm just like, dude, you got to go follow this person. You got to check out this person wrestle. You got to go see this person in person. There's been so many people. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much more wrestling out there.
A small chunk of the AEW roster, you've seen that bar episode, right?
I've seen that at a lot of indie events, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Quite a bit.
There you go.
And I'm going through the roster right now. I've seen Brandon Cutler. I've seen Angelico. I've seen Christopher Daniels. I've seen Chuck Taylor.
I've seen Chris Jericho.
I've seen Darby Allin.
That upstart.
Shut up. I've seen Phoenix. I've seen Frank Kazarian, Jack Evans, Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela, Jungle Boy, Kip Sabian, Luchasaurus. I have no clue who Marco Stunt is. That one's new to me. Nakazawa, I've seen him. MJF is amazing. Orange Cassidy, LAX, Pentagon Jr., Peter Avalon. I've been following Peter Avalon forever. He's from out here in LA.
I like his porn stash.
He's from the LA area. Scorpio Sky is a legend in my opinion. Sammy Guevara, Sonny Kiso, all these guys that I've been following for many years. It's really cool to see them making it to the big leagues now without that having to be in the WWE is super special to me. That's really the only reason I'm giving them a little bit of the edge. NXT was still an incredible show. Probably one of the best NXTs I've seen in at least a year or two.
But it feels
aside from their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Their weekly show, this is probably one of the best weekly shows. So again, I'm just excited for wrestling in general.
It's so much fun.
Wrestling is so much fun right now. If you've been out of wrestling for a while because it's been bland, it's been boring, it's been repetitive.
Or cheesy.
Or just straight up boring, now is the time to get back into wrestling because there's so much good stuff out there. So I loved it. This was a great discussion. Again, we're going to try and do this more often, especially with AEW going on.
Yep.
Maybe weekly. I'm not sure. Maybe bi-weekly. I don't know yet. But we're going to try and do this a lot more often because this is going to be just a lot of fun discussing, about all these different shows and where things are going. So, yeah, I just think it was a great show. So, good job, guys. So, for right now, I think we're going to sign off here. So, for Will the Thrill, why don't you sign off, Will?
Have a good one, guys. If you want to follow me, it's at Instagram on notwill2232. If you want to connect with the show, talk, and have some fun with us, I'm lie.
You need to change your handle to Will the Thrill, bro. I'm just saying. That would be amazing.
You know what? It took me so long to find
my God.
Will with the numbers behind it.
Dude.
If I try to find Will the Thrill, it's probably already taken.
So what? Put your birth year or something next to it or something like that.
No, that's cheesy and tacky.
Because you're 50 and shit.
Not 50.
No. All right, man.
Younger than you, homie.
All right, Adrian 3000, say goodbye to everybody.
All right, see you, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All right, guys. So don't forget to please comment, like, and subscribe, folks. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.